Well, you may have noticed it lately. Many banks closing branches as more customers bank online and fewer go into the bank in person. But for one East Bay man, it caused a mild panic, actually. The Bank of America shut down his branch just hours after he made a huge deposit and his money disappeared. So you can imagine how worried he was. So he came to 7 on Your Side's Michael Finney, as so many people do, to find out what to do, Michael.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this story happened at a major bank.
Yeah,
this viewer deposited $33,000 through a teller at a Bank of America in Oakland, and hours later, the branch shut down. His deposit never got posted, and everybody kept telling him, sorry, there's nothing we can do.
And I said, you're telling me that Bank of America lost $33,000 of my money, and you're telling me right here to my face, there's nothing you can do. That's right, sir.
It was like a bad dream, except it was real.
I started to think I may not see the money ever.
Brian Leonard deposited $33,000 into his account at Bank of America. Then it disappeared.
Nobody said, we'll find out where the money is, we'll make good on it, we'll take care of it. There was none of that.
It all began here in Brian's kitchen.
My wife and I are in the midst of a big kitchen remodel.
Brian had to pay the contractor and needed to transfer $33,000 from his account at Wells Fargo to his account at BofA. He brought a cashier's check straight to the teller at BofA so it would clear right away.
And she said it would post that afternoon or next morning at the latest.
However, when he checked his account the next day, the money was not there. He called BofA, and it was not good news.
The woman said that there was no record of the transaction, so as far as she was concerned, no transaction happened.
Brian drove back to the bank and got another surprise. BofA had shut down that branch just hours after he had made his big deposit.
And when I realized the branch that was closed and the teller that took my $33,000 cashier's check is nowhere to be found, my heart sank into my stomach. I feel like I just saw a boat leaving dock and my money is on the boat.
Brian went to another branch, only to find the doors locked there, too.
So that's when I started to get very nervous. It's just like, wait a second, the branches are closing. The people that I've had contact with, gone.
He went to a third branch. It was open, and the manager didn't help.
He said there's no record of the transaction, so there was nothing he could do.
Brian showed him the cashier's check and deposit receipt, proof of the missing money.
And I said, well, you're the manager. Can you escalate the issue? He says, no. There's nothing I can do.
Brian says everyone at BofA kept telling him that.
There was nothing he could do. There was nothing that she could do. So there's nothing I can do. So there was nothing he could do. They kept repeating, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about that. It was kind of Kafka-esque.
But there was something Brian could do. He contacted the bank's CEO, the federal government, and 7 on Your Side.
That ball started moving very quickly.
BofA tells us the problem arose because the cashier's check was made out to Bank of America, not Brian, and it delayed the process. BofA didn't say why no one helped Brian track down his money until now.
Bank of America contacted me and they said, we are going to give you $33,000 immediately. 7 on Your Side. You were on it from the get-go, and so thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we do here. Now, look, this story is a great reminder. Keep your receipts. Bank of America did not comment on whether the shutdown of that branch may have caused a problem with the deposit, but says it's a temporary closure. This is one of hundreds of bank branches to close nationwide over the past year, and we're starting to hear more and more problems related to these shutdowns. And what concerns me, too, is you have receipts and they mean nothing?
Yeah,
why have a receipt?
Right. As you said at the top, I've never heard of this at a major bank.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, as it turns out, there was something they could do. And you got them to do it. Thank you, Michael, very much.